Hello and welcome back to Mate's Tottenham blog and to another episode of Transfer Talk. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the situation with Toby Alderweireld and the latest developments there. So before we get started, if you do want more transfer content over the next 4 weeks, please subscribe to the channel down below and like this video. So the latest we've heard about Toby Alderweireld has come from Sky in Italy today. And they're saying that Daniel Levy is going to meet with Roma official Franco Baldini in London today to discuss a deal that would see Alderweireld move to Italy. Now, Baldini is the former sporting director of Tottenham, so there's a bit of relationship there between him and Daniel Levy that he may try and use to lower the price, and it is understood that he does want to go lower than the £25 million release clause that is currently in Alderweireld's contract. Now, that release clause was activated when Tottenham extended his contract by a further year back in, I think it was March, that would see him stay at the club until 2020. But of course, because Alderweireld isn't expected to stay at the club beyond that, the club are kind of trying to cut their losses at the moment and just get some money in him, get money in to sell him, so they don't have to let him go for free next summer. And that release clause is active till the 26th of July, which is 2 weeks from today. And after that, obviously, he'll be out of the contract. But people have been kind of surprised to see that not many big teams have been interested in Alderweireld, because at £25 million, it does seem an absolute steal for a player of his quality and of his experience. But I think the way I'm kind of looking at it is they can get him for £25 million now, or as Roma are hoping, for a little less than that. But if they let it go beyond the 26th of July, Tottenham still need to sell him, because once it gets to January, under the Bosman ruling, he can agree pre-contract agreements with any other team in Europe that would see him leave for free next summer. So I think the best thing for Tottenham at the moment is to just sell him this summer. And I know it's never good to see such a good player go, and a player who's been a pivotal part of our team for a couple of seasons now. But it's much better than letting him go for free next summer, because you never want your best players to go for free. Like, that's the thing Arsenal do, and we all slag them for that, and deservedly so, because it is a really stupid tactic to let a contract run down and just let them go for free when you can, a year or 2 years in advance, get a good fee in for them, and it'll go a long way to replacing them. So I think the reason there haven't been any big teams in is they've been hoping that after the 26th of July, Tottenham will have to reduce their asking price just to get deals done that would see him leave, because, as I said, we need to bring that money in, and that is a big part of our transfer strategy this summer, not even replacing Alderweireld in the long term, which I don't think we need to do. I think the players at the club are already there, but that money will go a long way towards the players that we want to bring in this summer, like players like Ryan Sessegnon and Danny Ceballos. That is still a possibility. I think Giovanni Lo Celso, with the asking price for him, it would have to be a thing where we sell Eriksen to get him in, because the money is just too much that Betis are looking for. So from a Tottenham and Roma point of view, I think getting this deal done in the next 2 weeks is the best thing possible, because Roma aren't that big a team. Like, they're a big club, but obviously there's much bigger clubs in Europe that may develop interest in Alderweireld when that release clause ends. So for both teams, it is in the best interest to get the deal done over the next 2 weeks. The Tottenham players, according to Sky again, actually believe that Alderweireld will be on our pre-season tour this summer, and that begins on the 21st of July, and they were playing Juventus in Singapore. So they do still think that Alderweireld will be on that tour. So it's interesting, kind of the feeling inside the camp is that he will stay for another couple of weeks, because you imagine if he does go on the pre-season tour, there won't be much about his transfer until he returns from that. So it's interesting developments that it's so many different camps are expecting so many different things from this, and at this stage anything can happen. But I do expect this deal to be done before we go on the pre-season trip, because, as I said, Tottenham need to get the money in for him. There was a lot of talk earlier in the window, before Roma's interest was kind of concrete, that Nicolo Zaniolo, a centre midfielder, would be part of a swap deal, but there's nothing about that on Sky or anything at the moment. So it does look like it's going to be just solely a cash deal. Which again I think is in the best interest of the club, because we can get in those transfer targets that we want over the next couple of weeks and strengthen our side where it needs to be strengthened, because Zaniolo as a midfielder probably isn't a main target for us at the moment, because obviously we brought in Ndombele and we have players like Sissoko, Winks, Dyer, obviously not as good a player, but he's there, and Ali and Eriksen have been known to drop into those deeper roles whenever they were needed. So I don't think Zaniolo will be a main target. And in a thing as well, bringing in players like that in a player plus cash deal for someone to be sold, you never really get the exact player that you want, because obviously every player has such different styles of play. I don't think Zaniolo would be the ideal player for us to bring in at the moment. Now, following on from my video a couple of days ago, I was talking about a report on Football.London that said Daniel Levy wants to sign 4 players in this transfer window: Giovanni Lo Celso, Dani Ceballos, and Ryan and Steven Sessegnon. Now, there was another piece in that article that I forgot to mention that talks about a potential 5th signing. The Football.London are reporting that the club at the moment are still hoping to sign Fernando Llorente for a further year. Of course, Llorente signed for us 2 years ago from Swansea, and his contract ran out at the end of last season, but there was a clause in that contract that the club missed the deadline for it that would have extended it for a further year, and because of that he was officially released by the club. But they're still hoping that they can get him to tie him down to a further year, which I think would be really good for the club, because he was really influential last season, especially in the Champions League, but in the Premier League a bit as well. So I'd like to see him stay, but if that doesn't happen, Pochettino apparently wants a 5th signing to be brought in this summer, and a 5th on top of the 2 we already have, so 7 in total. That would see a player very similar to Lucas's son, a kind of pacey winger that could play up front if Kane was ever absent. So there aren't really many names being thrown about at the moment, but the only wingers that we've kind of been linked to are obviously Jack Clark, but he's gone on loan, and Danny Olmo from Dinamo Zagreb. I made a video about him as well, so I'll put that link that down in the description. But it's interesting that it is a kind of pacey player that he's looking for to back up Kane, because obviously Son and Lucas have done really well in those positions, but so far when he's signed a striker, it's been players similar to Llorente, big kind of target men, Vincent Janssen, and obviously of course Llorente. So he did seem kind of reluctant at times to play the pacey wingers up there up front when he had Llorente as an option. So it's interesting that he's kind of switching that tactic and going like specifically targeting and specifically bringing in a winger that will play in that position if Kane is absent. So that's all for this video today. If you want more transfer content like this over the next 4 weeks and a lot more when the season starts, please subscribe to the channel down below. It is completely free. And don't forget to comment what you think about Tottenham's transfer strategies so far and what players you'd like to bring in. Thanks for watching.